People ask me, where is the problem? I say to them, you don't care about your customers enough. Think about a moment when somebody, go through your own personal experiences. Think about a moment when somebody helped you. How did that feel? When somebody helped you to get rid of a problem that you didn't know how to get out of. How did you feel? The more severe the problem, the more stuck we are, and when we get helped, how do we feel? I can give you a few instances in my own life. I remember that I was at a cinema and I came out and I found there's no key in my pocket after watching the movie. And I went to the the reception to see if somebody handed the keys in, and they said nobody's handed the keys in. All I could think of is I've got a little kid with me and my wife, and it's late at night. I think it was on a weekend night, and I've got no key. How am I going to get them home? All of a sudden, all the problems and the inconveniences I'm going to have to go through just hit my head and totally lost. I'm thinking, how am I going to get out of this? I started wandering towards the car to see if I dropped it on my way in. Hopefully, maybe I'll find it. As I walked up to the car, guess what I saw? The keys were still in the door lock. It was one of those keys that you should lock the doors with the key. The key was still in the door lock. How do you think I felt? Well, I'll tell you. It's been 18 years, and I'll still remember it like yesterday. Another time, a friend of mine told me he was coming up the motorway and there was a bang noise and he didn't know what it was. What he didn't realize is when he went to the mechanic the day before, the mechanic never tightened all the bolts on his tire. So the wheel nut had snapped off and all of a sudden the wheel came off and started rolling off. His car hit the floor from one side. He come out of the car and he said, I'm on my own. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning. I said, oh my God, what am I going to do now? He rang up the AA. Somehow he managed to get the car onto the car hard shoulder as it was rolling. It's only when he got out of the car he realized that the wheel had just totally come off. Front, driver's side. Just imagine what you think went through his head. He rang the AA. They said that it'll be about an hour. It was winter nights, snowy nights, winter nights. Oh my God. He could see about 200 foot away the wheel stuck on the central barrier. So he said he waited for it to be safe. There was nobody coming, so he went and got the wheel. And the nuts had just snapped off. He rang them, AA came down, picked him up about 4 o'clock in the morning, and luckily he had the cover and brought his car back home. How do you think he felt when he got picked up? Another occasion I remember when we went on a family holiday and the car broke down. But luckily for me, I had full cover, yeah? And they gave us hotel accommodation and a rented car, and the car was delivered to us the following morning. One thing is when I take out my cover, I take out a full family cover. So if I'm out with my wife and my kids, something goes wrong somewhere, I know I've got hotel accommodation and I've got car cover. So that's one for peace of mind and security. That actually happened to me once. We were in London and the car broke down. The car broke down. My God. Luckily, within half an hour, AA came down. They assessed the situation and they said, right, this is the situation. We're going to have to take the car. I sent the car all the way back again to home, which was 150 miles away. They gave us a hotel accommodation, and which we went to. And Then the following morning, the car was delivered to us. We had the car for 2 days. Just look at the comfort, even though I paid for having the extra cover. The point I'm making is when somebody helps you. Another one of my friends, he was stuck with an MOT. He couldn't get an MOT on his car because there was something wrong. He overfilled the engine with oil, and the oil overspilled and messed up the engine. So he replaced the engine, and what happened next is that the oil, he's not a mechanic, the oil ended up in the manifold, and it messed up the manifold. So the oil was now stuck in there. So when he went, had the engine replaced, and went to have his car done, MOT done, he started checking out black smoke. He said, "Well, how can there be black smoke? I've just had the engine replaced." The mechanic told him, this MOT garage mechanic said that, yes, you've had the engine replaced, the smoke is not coming from the engine, it's coming from the manifold. Because there's loads of oil stuck in there. And I can't take it out. So, after lots of massive struggle, he just got fed up and he just popped the car up. He said, "I haven't got time to do, I need to work." Carried on, and then after a while, he tried selling the car and he couldn't sell it. Obviously, with no MOT, no tax, no nothing on the car, he ain't going to be able to, especially with no MOT. People were giving him third of the price. He advertised the car and he was getting a £3,500 car, and he was being offered 900 quid for it because he didn't know much about cars. Until one of the guys that rang him up trying to offer, he asked him, "How come you're selling this car so cheap?" So he said, I explained to him that this is what happened to my car and I can't get an MOT on it and I just want to get rid of it. I just want not any more headache because it's been parked up for 2 years now. The guy said to him, "Listen, why don't you just go down and get an MOT done?" And he said, "Because no parts." He said, "Listen, the thing would have been dried up by now. The oil would have been dried up. We'll just run the car for about an hour. It will heat up the oil in the manifold and burn it out." He said, because if you do that, the car's still worth about £3,000. So he said, I took my car down to the mechanic. I said, "Could you run him through the test?" He said, for my shock, the car passed. There was no black smoke at all because the thing had just dried up and disappeared. And he said, "Just go and get 4 tires on your car. Because that's what you need, because the car's been parked up. Get me 4 tires on there and you can have your MOT ticket. There's nothing else wrong with the car." The point I'm making in this is that what happens when you help people? And that is what I do, and that is what I've learned. The top 1% of the businesses and the top 5% of the businesses, that is what they do. They go beyond all means to find any way they can help their customer to get the results that the customer is looking for, and even beyond that. And I'll just explain all these situations to you. What happens when somebody truly, I'll give you another example. We needed our garden done in the old days. I know nothing about the building industry, nothing at all. I got a friend of mine, he does a bit of general building work and gardening and what have you. I called him down. He said, "I'm really busy, I've got no time, I've already taken on some flats I'm building." I said, "Listen, you've got to help me out. I'm stuck, I don't know how to get around this. We need to get this garden done. It's an absolute mess." He said to me, "Look, I'll tell you what you got to do, but you're going to have to do it. And I'll come in every now and then, I'll put the pieces together for you." He told me where to go, what to buy, and how to do it. I said, fine. A £6,000 garden, and I ended up doing it in 2.5 grand at cost price. He told me exactly what to get and where to get it from. I wouldn't have had a clue where to start. And when I look at the garden, it's a masterpiece. He told me where to get the materials from. I did everything. We needed about 20 tons of broken stone, and because the garden was about 2 foot below the door level in the back, so we need to raise it. And he told me where I could get this stuff that he wanted to put down, broken stones or mixed with sand. He got it for me for £14 a ton. It was £35 a ton. If you go to no, he knew a place where he could get it for £14 a ton. He said, I'll order it, they deliver it outside your door. I've got no time. You'll have to wheelbarrow it in. I said, but I got no one to do it. I can't do it myself. It's too difficult. Anyway, there was somebody I knew who does a little bit of painting, decorating job, and he had a Romanian guy, couple of sons, and he said, I seen him in a chip shop. I said, look, I got a job for you. Can you come and have a look? I said, could you wheel this in the back for me? He goes, yeah, I'll do it for you tomorrow. 2 guys. He gave me 2 guys, and they came and they wheeled in 14 tons of concrete in the back. They wheeled it into the back garden for me. The point to all this is what happens to you? How do you feel when you're helped? And that is what you need to do with your customers. You need to stop thinking about you and you need to start thinking about what result can you get for your customer. Now you may be wondering, but what about me? Well, you see, when you go into a business, all you seem to be thinking about is you. Well, that's okay. But as long as on that bus where you're trying to get to a certain destination in your life, totally there's nothing wrong with that. Make sure your customers are traveling with you so they get to their destination too. So you got to engineer your product and your services that you're providing to actually give your customer more than what they expect, and they actually feel, boom, I've never had that before. Just like the way you felt. So you think of 2-3 times in your life when you were massively moved in the way you were helped by a total stranger. That is what will get your customers to stick with you and be loyal to you and be your fans, will never leave you. But then, on the other side, you have got to give them product, service, value that is different than what they can get with anyone else. Now, if you don't know how to do that, then you need to sit down and work out not what you want, what your customer wants. The question for you is, how can I give this to my customer that is different from anybody else, and that takes my customer beyond what he can get from anybody else and beyond what he's expecting in a massive way that they won't even dream about going somewhere else, and I can do it in a way where I make a profit as well. You got to get very creative, and that's what business is all about. And that's why very, very few businesses do well, because they never even think about that. Never even think about that. And that's what you need to do. I remember another time when I was driving taxis, I picked up a family that was on a holiday, and I dropped them by the hotel, and the girl left a 200, I repeat, £250 camera in the back of my taxi. I said, oh my God, how am I going to get this camera back? I don't know. I dropped her near a shopping centre. I didn't even know which hotel she was in, so I could have tried doing that. No. Next day, I was driving past in the same shopping centre up the hill, and you won't believe who I saw walking into the bakery. Just as I'm going, I saw the same family walking into the bakery. I stopped the car straight away on the side, took her camera to her, and it was a Chinese girl, and I gave her a camera, and at this look in her face, I can still remember it. That's at least 12 years back. I can still remember it. She goes to me, how did you find me? She was so surprised that she actually got her camera back, that instead of asking, oh, thank you very much, I never thought I'd get my camera back. She asked me, how did you find me? I didn't find her. She just happened to be I was going, and I saw her. Because, like I said, they were on a holiday. My point again is, how do you think she felt when she got her camera back? Do you think she's ever going to forget me? No, she's never going to forget that. Are you likely to get a camera back? £250 camera you forgot in the back of a taxi? Probably not. Are you going to get your keys back? No. Or you can get a garden that's cost 7,000. I was actually priced £16,000 for the garden and a bit of work in the front. And this is the same garden guy who had done for me for nearly £2,500 £3,000 by telling me how to do it. My point is, all the best things that have happened to you in your life, that memories that you remember, that where you were helped by somebody else without them having some internal motive. If you go out of your way to help people and get them what they want, they never forget you, and God and life will reward you so much so the customers will never forget you. And that's how you need to be thinking about your business. I hope you enjoy this, and I hope it really helps you, and I hope you do really, really well. But that's what you need to do. Think about your own experience. How do you feel? Now, it is possible that in your business you do not know how to manufacture, create your product on a business, how to craft the idea where it is profitable to you, but at the same time delivers the benefits to your business, your customers. Drop me a line. I'll try to work it out for you, depending upon what type of business you do. I've yet to come across a business that I haven't been able to do that for, who's reached out to me. Oh, don't worry about it. There is no charge. I'll explain to you how it's done. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next talk. Next talk, we're going to talk about what happens when you do the opposite, which is 99% of the businesses don't even know about the stuff I'm talking about. They never even think about these things. What happens when you rip people off? Now, have a look at the opposite side. How do you feel when you get ripped off? Go out and look at your own experience. How did you feel when somebody was done you over? You don't feel like trusting anybody for the rest of your life again? But not everybody's the same out there. Not everybody's going to rip you off. But you feel that way. Somebody does you a good turn, you don't think everybody in the world is going to do you a good turn. But if somebody does you a bad turn, we automatically think, hey, people are going to do us a bad turn. You lose your trust in anything and everyone because you've been robbed. That's the way of the world. 99% of the stuff that we go on, buy things out there, the experiences are not good. So when you do get a good experience, it's an absolute shock. Anyway, I hope I can help you out. Drop me a line if you need any help. Thank you.